you know, I've had some comments saying, oh, you're nowhere near ready to sail to Scotland. Well, yeah, no kidding. I mean, we're not planning on sailing to Scotland tomorrow. Okay, so this is the moment that many of you have been asking for, is a tour of W. Grebe. You can go back in the other videos and see us launching the boat and talking about the sails and whatnot, but the thing that caught our eye about Grebe was its interior, and it's one of the things that Mary and I, you know, had on our list of boats, is we wanted a nice wooden boat, something that we could, you know, take care of and maintain and restore. And so we've got that. So let me show you. We'll start up here where you guys are familiar from the last video. This is the pilot house and the electronics. So I won't go into too much detail here. This is the new, well, new to me, Simrad, the NX 4500. This is a new radar system, sort of an all-in-one type system that will replace that old one. And it's in perfect working order, but I need to install it. There's the radar dome for it right there. So I need to climb up the mast, or maybe Mary can go up the mast. Mary is actually a climber, so I figured it'd be pretty easy, and she's a lot lighter than I am, so it'd be pretty easy to put her in a bosun's chair and just hoist her up there, and with a couple of wrenches, and she can take that old dome down and install that new one. It sounds like I'm volunteering Mary for that job. We'll see. I'm sure she's game. Mary's done so much stuff, you know. She used to be like a grader operator, a truck driver. You know, she worked for the city of Boulder, so she can take care of herself. I would have no problem setting her up the mast with some wrenches to look after that job, perfectly within her capabilities. So here, let's go downstairs. So what we do is you come in from the back, from the cockpit area, and you hit these steps, and then you're standing in the pilot house, and then you go down 3 more steps and you're in the galley. And the galley isn't anything special. I think there's room for a double sink there, so that's one of the things that I'm thinking about doing is you know, installing a double sink in there, because right now trying to, you know, wash dishes is a bit of a pain in the neck with that single sink. And we just have a foot pump down on the bottom that operates this faucet. One of the very first things that we will do, or I will do, is install pressurized water system and hot water on demand. That's Mary has made it clear, and I agree with her, that, you know, it's time for us to have hot running water. So that's one of the first things that I'll take care of here in the next little while. And then, you know, like a double sink is definitely in the cards as well. You know, one of the things too that I have to work on the boat is the lighting. And there are sort of mismatched lights that have been installed over the years, as is pretty typical with older, you know, boats and things like that. Is just stuff gets added as needed, you know. It's not a show boat, it's a working sailing boat, and so lights have been added here and there. I'd like to get those lights onto, you know, individual switches, so I can just flick a switch and have the lights come on. So this is the galley cabinetry. This is neat. These drawers slide out, and then there's these little devices right here that just slide over, and they stop them from moving in the waves. Oh, this is cool too. like a cutting board, a marble slab cutting board. Pretty cool. One thing that grabbed our attention with this boat was that the previous owner, Sandy, was just a master craftsman as far as cabinets go. So he rebuilt the entire interior of this boat, and you'll see it's just beautiful. So the cabinetry is amazing. The drawers are amazing. So from here we go into what I guess would be considered the navigation table, the chart table. Right here is rafts of charts to go over, and then more cabinetry up here. Just storage everywhere. This is the boating, sort of the junk drawer. This is cool. This is all the wood storage. Right now, I'm working on a project at work, which is rebuilding this boat. And the boat is stored in a cabinetry factory. And so they have these cutoffs and shorts of oak, hardwood. And I can take as much as I want. So, you know, during the day when I'm working there, before I leave, I just fill up a little container filled with wood and I bring it back here to the boat. And then I've got some free firewood. This right here is just a little 12 volt. There's 12 volt outlets, you know, throughout the boat. And so this is a fan that I run. So there's the wood stove. And when I've got the wood stove running, I just hit this fan, and then that fan blows back into the forward cabin there, the V berth, and keeps things sort of dry and air flowing and whatnot. So there's wood storage right there, and then it extends right here as well. So there's tons of wood storage actually. It's kind of amazing. There's Bubba. Hello, Bubba. So here's the dinette set. This table lowers, and then this becomes a big bed. And again, we have cabinets everywhere. We have light switches everywhere. Some of this stuff too is I just haven't had a chance to organize it yet, and then Mary's coming back right away, so she's asked me or told me, you know, don't bother trying to organize the boat because she's just going to redo it all the way she knows how to do it. She's just a professional when it comes to organization, so I haven't put stuff away yet. But this is really cool. This is something that caught our eye. This bookcase. Those are beautiful. And like I say, just drawers everywhere and storage everywhere. You can see what I mean about the light switches though. We got lights everywhere. It'd be nice to be able to just hit a switch. So cedar planking, I believe that's called a ceiling when there's a layer of wood on the inside of the hull. But you can see all the drawers everywhere. Just such a master. All these are different size drawers. Progressively get bigger as you go down. Just so cool. Every one of these floors, this is called the sole. Every one of these pieces lifts up. And kind of messy right now, some ballast, lead ballast. But I want to clean that up. And then I want to make this into a wine cellar. Oh, I guess I should go back here. Underneath the cockpit here are the quarter berth beds. And right now, what I'm using them for is just some additional storage. But that has a really nice mattress on it. And we'll get this organized. Most of this stuff is just going to get tossed. Same on this side. This is kind of the garage. And I'll show you the electronics up there another time, but the electronics are back around that quarter berth there. So, all right, let's go into the forward berth. Okay, so here we are into the V-berth, and nothing much to see here. Just a comfortable, good-sized bed, a little bigger than a double, I'd say. Up front there is the chain locker. Back behind here, where that box is another closet. And today I went into town to get a battery for my little tiny circular saw, because Mary wants these closets here to be nothing but shelves. She doesn't want to hang clothes, she wants to fold clothes. So I got to build shelves in there, which is easy. But then I got to build shelves in this area right here, which is not so easy. But I'll figure it out. Another thing that we loved about this boat is the lights. We just have these big skylights everywhere. There's portholes, of course, but these skylights are, you know, what are these called? The butterfly hatches, just hatches, I guess, in general. We love these. Right now, they are plexiglass that's going over top. And so they're old and cracked and faded and worn. We need to replace them, and we'll figure that out. We actually want to rebuild them so that they fold open. But I'm told that this is yew wood as well by Sandy. He thought that this might be yew wood by the original builder of the boat. And then when we go out here, we have the same thing, of course. So all of this needs to be refinished and looked after. And so we're excited to get going on that as well. This is such a prominent feature of the boat. All the photos that used to be up on these walls, it was really neat. So Mary and I want to start adding our photographs to these walls. And of course, these need to be painted and looked after as well. So yeah, that is the tour of the boat. It's got a lot of potential, and we're terribly happy with it. I love being in this space. I love it. And I cannot wait to get started with actually sailing her and going to some places with her. It's going to be fun. But in the meantime, we just have a lot of sort of housekeeping stuff to do. We have to get used to running the boat, sailing her. We have to get organized. We have to start getting the gear established, you know, the different things that we need as far as depth finders and nav gear and chart plotters and whatnot. So I guess I'll talk about that next. So, you know, one of the things that maybe isn't obvious to people, well, I'm sure it is, but, you know, it's worth mentioning anyways, is, you know, I'm just sort of starting out here from scratch with this boat. I simply do not have a lot of money. And so working full time and slowly piecing together this boat, the different pieces that we need to make this boat function properly and safely, especially for a long voyage, is going to take a while, as will learning how to sail her. So I was gifted that Simrad radar system by a friend of mine, Gord, and you know, when I look up what those things are worth, they're worth thousands of dollars. And so he said it works perfectly fine when he took it out of another boat. So I'm very grateful for things like that. That helped me get started. That, you know, radar that we have going right now, the old radar, I think it works fine too, but this new radar system is just a big step up in so many ways. And I can just, all of those pieces are still being made today for the Simrad. So I can add different functions to it. You know, as I need to, or I can upgrade the monitor and things like that. So right now, the monitor, has some discoloration on the screen and whatnot. Gord said that the screen still works fine. It just is a little unsightly. So I don't know if that's an indication of imminent failure. I doubt it. But it's good to know anyways that those modules or those pieces of that system are still available when I need to. And, so the plan before, I've had some comments saying, oh, you're nowhere near ready to sail to Scotland. Well, yeah, no kidding. I mean, we're not planning on sailing to Scotland tomorrow. But, the journey starts today. It starts now with just getting the boat clean, for instance, getting it organized, learning how it runs, maintaining it, getting the things done within it that allow us to live comfortably. I'll continue working full time for as long as it takes, saving up money and buying parts of the boat that we need in order to achieve this grand voyage. And you know what? We're just going to slowly pick away at it. And this channel is just going to document that. So, moving forward, I watch channels alluring winter sailing, and their videos are so amazing, and the places that they travel. They did the Northwest Passage, and I want to do that. That's a huge challenge for sailing, and I've got a lot to learn. So does Mary. And we have a lot to learn with this boat. So, over the next couple of years, if that's how long it takes, that's how long we're going to take to get really proficient at sailing this boat. We're going to get this boat geared up exactly the way we need it to be. And, only then will we head out onto that journey to Scotland. So I hope that clears up our plans, at least anyways. I wanted to share that with you. And, as we're sailing this boat over the next couple of years, there's lots to see and do around here. So I want to start picking up on the wild food vibe that I used to be so heavily involved in. And I want to be fishing again and foraging. I want to integrate that into life aboard the sailboat. I want to share with you what it's like living on a sailboat. And then I want to show you the different places that we have to sail around here and some of these little adventures that we have around here. It's a really cool part of the world. So I'm glad that you're here. I would love it if you just continued to help the channel grow by sharing, liking, commenting, and then don't forget to check out the community. This channel is for you and it's produced by you. You are the fuel that keeps this channel going in so many different ways. So go check out that community. And if you'd like to help us out, that's a great way to do it. So thank you for being here. We'll talk to you soon. It's an early morning here on Grebe, and I just wanted to show you something kind of interesting. Here at the marina, there is an old timer. His name is Ralph, and I stop and talk to him as often as I can. He spent his career with the Royal Dutch Navy, and then in later years sailed on his own, and he sailed the equivalent of 2 times around the planet. But the really interesting thing about that is that he did it without electronic navigation. And I just think that's really cool. And the other day when I was talking with him, he asked me a question. He's like, what do you think is the most important piece of kit on your boat? And I threw out, a compass and some other things. Of course, they're important. But he said, his answer surprised me. He said the most important piece of kit on your boat is your barometer. And it took me a minute and I went, yep, because that is what tells you what the weather is going to do. And it's an ancient piece of kit. It just measures the pressure of the air. That's all it does. And there's plenty of examples of it from ancient times. It's one of the earliest instruments that man created. And I'm here. I'm going to show you on Grebe. There is a barometer. It was up in the cockpit, and I relocated it somewhere where it's more handy. So here it is. So I put it here on the wall so that every morning I can just get up and have a look at it. And it might be hard to see, but yesterday, how can I make this more visible? There. So it's got this dial right here. And so wherever the needle's at, you can just simply adjust the dial to match the needle, right? To match the actual gauge on the barometer. And when I set it up yesterday, I did just that. And I don't know, it was somewhere around there. And so then when I woke up this morning, I can see that the pressure has dropped from where I set it yesterday. And so that means that there's some weather coming. You know, it's not a huge drop, but it is dropping. So, you know, what you do is you just sort of, you know, make note of that, I guess. And I can't see, I don't have my glasses on, but it's dropped so many points. So I'd write that in my log, and then I reset the dial. So I reset the dial to match what the gauge is at, and then we'll just check it again later. And so this is something that should be a daily ritual for you when you're sailing, is to check the barometer. So there you go.